Hello friends, this is a follow-up video on my previous video, and that is I needed to make a couple of important points I skipped in the last video. Welcome to my ad hoc rantings show. I have different shows now, like comparative trends and random picks and specific picks and so on. New terms, I coined them. They belong here. So anyways, there is like all kind of crowing and yelling and shouting and screaming and scare tactics being followed, telling people to evacuate from eastern Ukraine. And then, oh boy, they're jumping up and down like dogs, like, whatever it is in the media and some politicians. But why are they doing this? It's because they want to empty eastern Ukraine to allow, they're basically helping Pustalenins, and they want to empty eastern Ukraine in order for them to come and take over eastern Ukraine. In fact, they want to evacuate the area for Pustalenins. That's them. They're in the West. They're in Western Europe. They're in the Americas. They're anywhere else. For people, don't fall victim for that. This is your country. If you evacuate, I promise you this, you will never come back there again. Not just you will never come back there again, you will become a refugee, similar to the Syrian refugee, live in some camp and in a hopeless situation, right? Non-ending hopeless situation. And then any promising future for you or your children is basically gone. Don't leave your country, folks. Don't leave your eastern Ukraine homes and farms and lands and cities and so on. Don't. Whether it's in the southeast or in the east, no matter where, folks, do not leave. That's what these dogs and crows are barking and crowing about, because they are helping in Western Europe and in the Americas. Those who are talking like that, they're trying to help Pustalenins gain grounds in Ukraine, because after their collapse, now they're trying to give them something. Right? Just think about it. So be very careful of that, folks. Be very careful of that. Now, second point is this. They are balking at providing Ukraine with weapons. They keep talking about it, but they never do anything really. Yeah, they agree and that they should help, but remember, whatever NATO did, whatever United States did, whatever anyone did so far, it's really minuscule, nothing really serious. Here they lend them like a couple of bushmasters. What do you do with bushmasters? It could be obliterated by a cornet or a rocket or anything like that on the battlefield. And all those inside will probably perish, be incinerated by the blast and so on. What is 200 stingers, right? Like eventually if 90% of them hit their target and 10% missed, like you decimated the Russian Air Force, or javelins, like 500 javelins. What do you do when they run out and the other few thousand tanks pour in? Just think about it, folks. And that's what the Ukrainian leadership is emphasizing on. Yeah, there's being said and promised and so on, but time is of essence. You cannot wait until until tomorrow or after tomorrow. But these tactics are well known, folks. They want to appear as if they're helping Ukraine, but they're buying like time as much as they can to allow Pustalenins to win. So oh yeah, they come and walk your Kiev capital, the streets of your Kiev capital in show of support and solidarity and so on. And then they're deceiving the public, folks, but they're not giving any weapons. And they promise a lot of promises, and that's for what's called local consumption and world consumption, like Ukrainians and English and whoever it is that are in support of Ukraine will not point their fingers at their leadership of NATO and its members and the governments and the establishments here and there and saying, you're not doing anything. So they keep you busy with these empty and false promises and slogans and so on and so on. And while at the same time they're trying as hard to squeeze much as possible to time to allow Putin to come back and make a comeback, and at least in East Ukraine, they're trying to give him something, folks. When he lost and he can no longer be given anything or talked to. I should really say the lizard eye cabal of Moscow. So that's what it is, folks. So far, this is a vicious, ugly game being played by the leaders and establishments of the West, looking on while Ukraine is defending all the peoples of Western Europe, folks. That's what it is. So that's point number 2. Point number 3, why aren't these guys helping when China is helping with all kind of hardware, shipping like all kind of hardware, munition and whatever it is to Russia? Just think about it. If China is helping Russia, why aren't you in the West helping Ukraine? I mean, this is what's called indirect war, right? If it's a Cold War, then you fight your enemy where he fights you, outside of the territory, right? And that's what's happening. China has been made what it is by the US establishment, whether it's technology or market or whatever it is, still dependent on the US. It's like a 2,000-pound leech stuck on the 200-pound human. Still dependent on the US, Western Europe for its existence, whether it's technology, manufacturing, patents, you name it. China is made, and it is what it is because of the West, really. And now they're supporting Russia against the West, brazenly speaking. Case in point, folks, you cannot possibly, you as a European citizen, you cannot possibly hang around while those establishments are trying as much as they can to get Pustalenins to take over Ukraine and Europe for that matter. And it's very obvious what it is, folks. The West is the market for China, and yet China is helping against it. Think about it. Why isn't the West reacting? Well, you know it. It's Israel, right? Sitting on top of that tripod and dictating to this and that, you know what to do and what not to do. Swedes, you can't keep going on like this. I go to IKEA and buy items, and I look, and almost every item in there is manufactured in China, made in China. Asked why they're supporting Russia against Ukraine, and most likely will do support them against you if they come your way. And why are you still buying from them or manufacturing at their facilities? I don't understand. At their facilities, it's just something mind-boggling, folks. European countries and nations, it is now to make the call, don't deliver your defense into the hands of those who are going to stifle it and stop it and make sure it doesn't work and disable it. And that's NATO and EU. Don't do that, folks. And it's now time to ramp up and start fighting. If China is supporting Russia, pull your manufacturing out of China. You may say, oh, it's easy to say, but not easy to do, right? Like easier said than done. Oh no, I assure you, folks, there are times when you have to reverse that formula and say it's easier done than said. And this is the time. I'm going to tell you again about the history of communism and what it is doing and what it is meant to do, really. It's meant to bring you humans back into that animal farm where brutality is the norm and treatment and inhumane behavior and disablement and so on and so forth. It is mind-boggling, folks, what communism is made for, whether it is in dogma or indoctrination and in behavior and so on. And that's coming your way, Europeans. That's coming your way. If you don't mind it, I'm going to repeat what I said way in the past. Don't have children anymore, because having children, they're going to suffer the consequences of your inaction. Have a nice day, my friends, and be very careful. These are very serious times, and these guys are following this Sun Tzu strategy. Your enemy is coming toward you with all they've got, but yet they are making sure that they appear as if they're doing nothing. And some of your enemies are right in your backyard. Fox, Scandinavia, and Germans, and French, and Bulgarians, and Hungarians, and Magyars, and Polish, and Baltics, and Greeks, and even Serbia, and the Balkans, and France, and Spain, and you name it, all you Europeans, Germanics, and Scandinavians, and Latinos, Latins, and whoever you are, folks, whoever you are. I cannot emphasize enough on what's happening, and what's happening is a major, colossal change to Europe. It is the final solution for Europe, and darkness is looming. Apocalypse is in the making for you guys. That apocalypse will change your generations forever. It will dement them. It will strip humanity out of them. It will strip their identity out of them, their history out of them, their everything from them, folks. That's what they're coming to do. And I assure you this, if Pustalenins is successful in taking over Europe, he will not just blood purge Europe. He will come back and blood purge Russia too, because Russia has been enjoying somewhat of a relaxed lifestyle for a little bit after their destruction in Afghanistan. He will bring it to be similar to what it was under communists, under Lenin and Stalin, and so on and so forth. That thing is dark, folks. That thing is very dark, and that thing is very, very problematic. They are in those hidden places. They are lizard eyeing. That's a verb. Lizard eyeing you and your resources and your lifestyle and so on and so forth. And they don't like what they see, folks. They want you to be licking their boots, and you know what? I'm not making this up. One of them actually professed this and said that's what the future is going to be. One of them, you may think he's criticizing or warning. No, he was telling you what it is. And that's Eric Arthur Blair, George Orwell, when he said, imagine the future like a boot stamping on the human face forever, and so on and so forth. They mean to do that, folks. That's what these guys are in Moscow. Those lizard eye cabal of Moscow, under, of course, the umbrella of that Netanyahu. You bet your money on this. Wake up, folks. It is now the time to take matters into your own fate and your own matters into your own hands, and handle your own defense, and don't wait around. Just rise up now, stand up from your slumber and your whatever, and then, start showing your enemy at least that you are now ready to fight and defend your country and help Ukraine defeat that evil from the east. Nice day, my friends. No shaving today. Tomorrow.